What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Show Me Your Rig. This is Season 2, Episode 2. We continue our focus today on systems that use an air cooler or an AIO and not custom water cooling parts. That's not to say that you can't still submit those systems for consideration and to be featured on the channel. I will certainly be doing so throughout this season. However, today we're featuring all three builds that do not use any custom loops at all. At the end of this season, don't forget that the prize will go to one of those non-custom water-cooled builds. So if you have one that you're proud of, this is the email address right here. Make sure that you copy it down. Don't forget it. Send in as many high-quality photos as you can, along with your name, a description of the system, what you use it for, and any other relevant information that I or the viewers might find interesting. Without further ado, let's get right into Episode 2 of this season right now. Ready to dive into custom water cooling but unclear about what parts you might need? Check out Thermaltake's new M360 Plus RGB kit. Featuring a D5 pump res combo, 16mm hard tube, Pacific Sea Pro fittings, and the best RGB implementation on the market, the M360 Plus fits all mainstream Intel and AMD sockets and is fully expandable as your system evolves. Check out the link in the video description to learn more. Our first PC of the episode belongs to Andrew C. Andrew writes, "Hello. Primarily, I will be using this machine for gaming and completing homework assignments such as papers. I play mainly Hearthstone, GTA 5, Overwatch, Civ, and League. Yes, I realize these games are not very intensive, but who cares? I just delidded my CPU and went from 80C to 67C during 100% load at 5 GHz. The SSD is not displayed due to the photos being taken. Oh, the SSD, I guess, is not in these photos. Anyway, he's got a Fantex N2 Evolve ATX case with an Intel i7-8700K and an Asus Strix Z370E gaming motherboard, cooled by a Corsair H150i Pro cooler. He's got 4x8 GB of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro DDR4 3000 memory, 500 gig Samsung 970 EVO, an EVGA GTX 1080 Ti for the Win 3, and a Corsair RMX 750 watt power supply, and that's the white version. So just taking a look at this from the outside, it looks pretty dope. Actually, I like the way this looks a lot. I always really liked the Fantex case, and I had a system built in it, Deep Red, for those of you guys who've been with the channel for a long time. It was a custom liquid cooled build, and the aesthetics of this case are fantastic. Building in it is pretty good. Interior space is really well laid out. The back's a little cramped, but airflow is where it really suffers. But I mean, you could get around that in a couple different ways. Delidding your processor and using a 360 AIO is one of them. I see he's got some of these stickers that comes with, like, hold on, I don't think I have another picture of the stickers. It looks like he's got like an EVGA sticker, an Intel sticker, and a Corsair sticker. And I hate those things. I never understood why people would want those on their case, but whatever, man. To each his own. So here is the interior layout, and there are a couple other photos. And before we dive into this, I do want to just scroll through really quickly, just initially taking a look at everything. I mean, there's nothing at all that stands out. Everything is very neat. These cables that I think these are the stock cables that come with the Corsair power supply. And you could tell that they're maybe just not quite as high quality as something like, you know, something you might get from NSourced or even the Cable Mod Pro cables. These are a little thinner, and as a result, they get a little wavy. But they still, the white looks very white, and it looks very clean. And this is really nice. This is very well done, very neat cable management situation. And this was one of the issues that I had with this case. Granted, I had a full custom loop in it, so there was a lot more wiring going on. However, he's got the Corsair Lighting Node Pro in there, so that obviously takes up some room, and everything else is routed pretty neat and clean, and everything else is jammed down there underneath the shroud, just the way it's meant to be. And here's a kind of an angled shot. I don't know if you got, like, you still have the, maybe you still got the little plastic on that Fantex logo. Gotta get that off of there. But here's another shot. These Corsair Light Loop fans are awesome looking. They're not, oh, this is a really nice shot. I like this angle. These are not the quietest fans, and their ML fans are basically better in every way except aesthetics. But just looking at these things, they look so good. And I bet they do just fine on a 360 rad. I don't think you really need to be pushing these that fast if you're just cooling an 8700K, especially if it's delidded. But this is a really nice shot. And like I mentioned in my the video I did on PC photography, mixing up the angles is something that I look for. But just taking a look at this interior, there's not a whole lot that I have to say that I would change at all. They're all nothing. You can't even see any of like the front panel connectors. Those things are all tucked away nicely, and all of the fan cables are routed in a way that you can't see them at all. So yeah, I don't really have any particular advice here, except to keep doing what you're doing. And if you really feel like it, maybe swap out that rear. I think this is like the stock Fantex fan that comes with this case. Maybe swap that out for a light loop 140. I think that would look really good. But as far as the build process itself, I think you did a great job. And 8700K delidded and overclocked plus a 1080 Ti. I mean, who cares about the RTX cards, right? I mean, that's going to be a system that's going to be a beast in games for years. So, and this is one of my favorite designs of the 1080 Ti generation, the For the Win 3 card. And I never actually even got to test or own one of these cards, actually. So I was always a little jealous of the people that had one. But this thing is great, and this system build looks really good. This might be a contender for the end of the season trophy. Granted, we're only 2 episodes in, but this is a good one. So thank you very much for sending in your system. And keep doing what you're doing, man. On to the next one. Next up is Jesse E. Jesse writes, "Hello, Brian. My name is Jesse, and this is my entry into the Show Me Your Rig competition you have on YouTube. I tried to follow your guidelines and also watched your video on taking better pictures." Boom. That's right, Jesse. Thanks a lot. "Her name is Rosie, and she is used as a showpiece for my computer repair business." That's pretty cool. "She sees her fair share of gaming and video/photo editing. I've been working on her for roughly a year now, saving a few dollars here and there to get the parts I really wanted. I've included a spec list below. Thank you so much for your consideration." You're welcome, Jesse. Thank you so much for sending in your system. So we got a Roswell Cullinan case, an i7 8700K, another one of those, a Gigabyte Aorus Z370 Gaming 7 motherboard, an Aorus GTX 1080 Ti, another 1080 Ti, some really powerful systems this week. We got a 4x8 gigabyte kit of G.Skill Trident Z RGB DDR4 3000 memory. What a mouthful. There are 2 512 gig M.2 SSDs in this build, one from AData and one from Samsung, along with a 3 terabyte hard drive. The cooler is an NZXT Kraken X72. The Roswell 650 watt PSU is powering everything, and we've got some iGo fans and a Cooler Master vertical GPU mount kit. That's cool. So these iGo fans, when I did my my RGB fan roundup, these were surprising to me because I had never used them before. And not only was the build quality good, but they were also relatively quiet. Not the quietest, but relatively quiet. And they look dynamite. So I don't know, if you're looking to pick up some budget RGB fans, check these out. These are iGo, A-I-G-O. But you can see right off the bat that the Cooler Master vertical mount kit, although when I zoom in, the resolution isn't great, really offsets this GPU from the sidewall here, which gives it some definite breathing room, which is a lot better situation than a lot of other vertical mounts. And when we swap over to the side view, man, this is really good looking. This is very neatly done. I really like the way these cables look. I don't believe you told me what the cables were. Well, they definitely look good. And this is one of the worst parts of the NZXT Kraken coolers. They're great coolers and they look awesome with the infinity mirror, but all these wires, everything that you have to kind of tuck away right here, there's like 3 or 4 different wires that come off of here that you got to find a room for, find a home for. And he's done a great job here, kind of tucking it underneath the VRM heatsink area and kind of wedging it in, and then kind of running it right in behind, and then out this little hole right here. So that looks really good. And I also like that you've kind of hidden away your tube. This is different. Not a lot of people do this. A lot of people either like to show off the tubing, or they don't mind it just kind of maybe dangling down here over the memory DIMMs. But you've hidden that too, so that makes this entire build look super clean. Wonder what this is. I don't know what that is down there, what that big thick white cable is happening. Maybe somebody could fill me in if they know what that is, but it looks like it's running. Maybe that's some weird front panel connector of some kind. Honestly, I don't know. If somebody knows, make sure you leave it down in the comments. Oh, there's a baby. He's a dad. Look at the baby. Cute baby. Okay, so moving on to the next photo. It's all lit up, and we got a xenomorph. You've produced a xenomorph somehow, and now I don't know what to say about your case because I think it's terrifying. Everything lit up, looks really good. I like the color scheme you got going on here. It's hard to tell with this lighting if these are so. Obviously the infinity mirror is red, the DIMMs are red. I think these are white, if not like a light blue. I'm pretty sure they're white. Yeah, they look white. But the whole effect of the some parts red, some parts white kind of gives this like a pinkish hue, and that looks awesome. And this angle, again, guys are killing it with the cool angles this time around. But I mean, like these shots are dynamite. These are really well done. And I mean, even if this was just done with a cell phone, like this is an excellent photo, and it really makes the system pop. It really gives it that extra, you know, hey, feature me kind of look. And I did, so it worked. But yeah, this is another super well done system with not a whole heck of a lot that I could say. It looks like you got I guess you got an RGB strip over here that's not on. I wonder why that is, but that doesn't really take a whole lot away from this. But yeah, awesome job, man. Once again, great work. And I don't know, I got nothing. I actually look forward to the times when I have nothing to say, because that means you guys are really doing a great job. So Jesse, well done, sir. Once again, definitely another contender for our end of season prize, but we'll have to see. So moving on to the last one, let's do it. And lastly, we got Trent B. Trent writes, "Hi Brian, I just got a matching motherboard, so I thought I'd try my hand at this. When I built this originally, I had a Cooler Master Masterbox Lite 5 and a Gigabyte B350 board, but I upgraded to a Fantex P400 TG. When my friend wanted to build a PC, I decided to trade him my case," I guess he means the Masterbox, "and a motherboard for an X470 board." Okay, so the specs are, it's a Fantex P400 TG. He's rocking a Ryzen 3 1300X. In an X470 board, apparently an Asus Prime X470 Pro. So that's quite the disparity, but I mean, at least there's definitely an explanation for it, and you know, who knows, at least this way, if he upgrades to like something beefier, 2700X at some point, you know, he's got the BRMs to handle some overclocking there. He's got a Zotac GTX 1050 Ti Mini, which he made a backplate for. He made an acrylic backplate with and painted it all around the card. He said he painted it white. He's got 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LPX, again, originally black, but painted them white. He's got an EVGA 500 watt power supply and a 2 terabyte Seagate SSHD. So, another very clean looking black and white build. The Fantex P400 TG edition case is super budget friendly, but really high quality, especially for the price. And it comes with all these cool little features like this colored accent strip up here. It comes with like this little down firing LED, and I forget if it comes with an interior LED, but it might. It might. But again, like that light just like really makes everything inside pop, especially when you have these white accents inside, which, you know, all the light is just kind of bouncing off of. But he's got this yellow accent for on the motherboard, which really, this is like just a little color splash. I guess he's got it running RGB cycles, but it's like a little color splash inside this otherwise black and white case, which honestly This photo is what made me choose this system, because everything in here is pretty basic. He's got a Ryzen 3 processor. You know, he's got a 1050 Ti. He's got a fairly budget-oriented case, but he put some effort into it. He custom made and custom painted this acrylic backplate. He custom painted the memory DIMMs. He put everything together so that all the colors are matching, and he's got the little color splash in there to set it off and make it just a little bit different. So that little bit can really make your system stand out. Other than that, everything in here looks pretty stock. He's got the stock Fantex fans. Nothing wrong with them at all. But, you know, as far as flare goes or performance, they're not the best performers, but they'll certainly do, especially with a Ryzen 3 chip. And then when he did the install, everything's clean. Everything is run through the appropriate grommets. You don't see cables flying around everywhere, as you often do in some budget systems. I like how he kind of wound the PWM cable around and then plugged it in over here so that it kind of just snakes under and around here, as opposed to just kind of like dangling out this way. He's got no wires running across the motherboard at all. As we take a little bit closer look, even like the SATA connector is just like plugged right in there at the perfect right angle, coming right through the grommet. Yeah, bang up job, man. This is the way budget systems should look. There's no reason that they can't look this way if you put a little bit of effort into it. Granted, the motherboard is a little more expensive than you normally see in a budget system. I mean, but you know, there was a perfectly reasonable explanation for that. So another awesome job, man. 3 really killer systems. People really took the time and put effort into, even in this case where the parts maybe aren't all that expensive. That doesn't mean you can't have a system that just really screams quality and care. You put a lot of care into this, and you know, this really means something to you. So awesome job. So to Andrew, Jesse, and Trent, thank you very much for sending in your systems. You all did a phenomenal job this week. But for the rest of you guys, if you want to be featured on the show, once again, here's the email address. Don't forget it. Send me in anything that you might want me to see. I do get a lot of submissions, but I do read every single email. I promise you that I do, although I cannot respond to them all. That would be almost impossible. However, I really appreciate everybody participating in this series, and that's what makes it go. So once again, if you guys want to be eligible for the prize at the end of 10 episodes of Season 2, this is the email address right here. Your name, your system specs, what you use it for, any special notes, and photos, and photos, and photos, and photos. High quality, as many photos as you can. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out merch store, link down below. We got some new designs down there. And as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.